9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Welcome to homework help. 3.4. Actually, I'll leave you up here. We're going to work on the whiteboard. Ready? Whew. Okay. Okay, the next part is you have to write in factored form. So number 8, I don't know why, just because, is x squared minus 5x minus 6. Okay, so remember, when you're factoring, your factors, actually we'll switch to purple. So you're going to have, oh geez, maybe we won't switch to purple. Oh no, there we go. Live, purple, live. X plus or minus something, and then x plus or minus something else. Okay, let me turn off the lights. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Okay, so your factors have to add up to -5. They have to add up to your middle term, which is called b, and they have to multiply together to get c, which is -6. Sorry, I was trying to die. Okay, so my way of doing this is write the factors of -6. Well, actually, you're multiplying to get a negative number, so you know one has to be negative and one has to be positive, because a positive times a negative is a negative. So this negative sign tells you one has to be positive, one has to be negative, because a positive times a negative is a negative number. All right, so then let's do factors of -6. Well, I have -3 and 2. Do those add up to -5? -3 plus 2 is -1. No. What about -2 and +3? Also multiply together to get -6, but they do not add up to -5. 6 and -1. 6 times -1 is -6. 6 plus -1 is in fact, oh no, it's not, it's 5. It's 5. So then we know we're close, we just have to switch it. So now -6, +1. There we go. -6 times 1 is -6. -6 plus 1 is in fact -5. So those are your factors. X plus 1, x minus 6. Okay, we'll do one more of these. Grab the book. I don't know. We'll do 11. There we go. X squared plus x minus 12. X squared plus x minus 12. Okay, so your factors have to add up to, what is this? This is just an x. How do I know a number? There's an invisible 1 right there, okay? So if you want, you can write it in. So they have to add up to 1, and they have to multiply together to get -12. Once again, this is a negative number, so you know it's going to be x plus something and x minus something. That's the only that's the only way that when you multiply, you'll get a negative number. You have to multiply a positive by a negative. Okay, right? If I had x minus something and x minus something, a negative times a negative it would be a positive, so that does not work. It has to be a positive and a negative. All right, so -12. We've got -4 and 3. -4 times 3 is -12. Do they add up to +1? No, they add up to -1. What if I switch them? negative 3, positive 4. Still multiply together to get negative 12, but now 4 minus 3 is in fact 1, so those would be your factors. If you want, you could write out all the factors and what they add up to. So like 12, negative 6, and 2, those would equal negative 12. But if I add them together, so that was equal to 1, that was negative 1. This is negative 4. You can do 12 and negative 1. If you multiply them together, that gets negative 12. But if you add them together, that gives you 11. Okay, so this can help you organize it and also prove to yourself that this is the only one that works. All right, I think I'm going to let you go on the factoring ones. I'm going to pause you. Okay, for numbers, what is this, 13 through 20? You're given one form and you have to write it in the other. So you're either given radical form and you have to write an exponential, or you're given exponential and you have to write it in radical. So this is just the first one. They give you this, the cubed root of 5 squared. So if you're going to write that in exponential form, you pull out your base. All right, and then squared. And then they're taking the cubed root. All right, so top number, bottom number. Top number, bottom. So this goes, that's the power, and this is the root. All right, let me see what other one I want to do. Let me grab the book. Okay, I'll do an example of us going the other way. So this time they give you 16 and 3/4. So now you want to write it in radical form. So your base is 16, and then you're raising it to the top number, to the third power, and your root is 4. So you're taking the fourth root of 16 cubed. So that's how you would write that. I'm going to skip to 17, because what I do for 17, you should be able to use for a 15. So this is 13, this was 14, and we're going to skip to 17, I think. Yes. So 17, they give you the fifth root of x to the 13th power, y to the 21st power. Yes? Yes. Okay. Now you have two bases. So you're going to have two bases over here. You cannot combine these together. The bases are different. You can't combine x and y. They're two different numbers. So we'll do x first. So x is raised to the 13th power, and then we're taking the fifth root. Okay, and then y is raised to the 21st power, and we're taking the fifth root. So you would leave your answer like that. Top number, bottom number, top number, bottom number. Okay, so using that same method, you should be able to do number 15. Okay, here we go, number 19. You're like, oh my gosh, it looks like a lot. And I'm like, yeah, I know, it is kind of a lot. So, you could write this using radical rules. You could rewrite this and like put the fifth root over everything in here. You don't have to do that, because remember, if I have, so let's say one of them is the fifth root of 32, right? So I have the fifth root of 32. I want to write it in exponential form. Zoom in a little bit. There. So if I write this in exponential form, it's going to be 32 to the 1/5. Okay. So we'll go over here. So I have 32 to the 1/5 times, And it's a 1 because I'm not raising 32 to any power. So really there's an invisible 1 there. And then I have x, and that's raised to the 13th power. And so I just write the 5 underneath, right? Top number, bottom number. All right, that's my top. My bottom is, so now I'm going to take the 5th root of 243 as a decimal. In exponential form, that's just going to be 243. We're not raising it to any power, so it's a 1 over 5. So just like 32. Oh, my bad. My shadow's right on it. Come this way. There. And then finally you have y times y. And it's 15 over 5, so you can just, so it's to the 15th power, and then we're taking the 5th root. Let me make sure that's how they leave it, because technically you could reduce that. Nope. So that's how you would leave number 19. If it's easier for you to take the root of everything first and rewrite it, so we would rewrite this, the 5th root of 32 times the 5th root of x to the 13th, to the 13th power, all over the 5th root of 243 times the 5th root of y to the 15th. Okay, if you want to rewrite it this way first and then switch it over to that, you can do that. Okay, you don't have to, but you can, but you don't have to. It's all you. Okay. All right. 21 and 22, you're solving equations. Well, there's only 2 of them, but I guess I'll do 21. Nope. I'll do 22 since it's a little bit harder. 22. I don't know why I didn't bring this with me. 2x minus 5. Nope. X minus 7 raised to the 5th plus 3 equals 67. Okay. Plus 3 equals 67. Okay. Whew. So take it step by step. We're going to solve this for x. All right. First thing, I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides. So then I have 2x minus 7 to the 5th equals 67 minus 3, which is 64. Ta-da! Now, we're going to divide both sides by 2. Get rid of this 2 in front. Please cancel. And you're left with x minus 7 raised to the 5th equals 32. All right, now, don't try and add 7 to both sides. These are still in parentheses. You're still taking all of this to the 5th power. So to get rid of that, you're going to take the 5th root of both sides. Your 5's cancel out, and you're just left with x minus 7 equals the 5th root of 32. If you don't want to do it in your head, you can factor it. I would do 4 and 8 probably. 4 and 8, and then 4 times 2, which is 2 times 2. Okay, so that's my prime factorization of 32. So it's 5 2s. So I could, if I wanted to, I could rewrite this as the 5th root of 2 to the 5th, because there are 5 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my 5s would cancel. I'd just be left with 2. Okay, good. So we have x minus 7 is equal to 2. And then to solve for x, hold on. Oh no, we're good. We're going to add 7 to both sides. I thought my answer was not going to match the books, but it does. All right, these cancel each other out, and so x equals 2 plus 7, which is 9. So 9 is your answer for number 22. Remember, if you're taking an even root of a number, so 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, etc., it's going to be positive or negative. Your answer is going to be, not your answer, let's say, let me go back to, actually I'll just do a little example problem real quick, hold on. I went over this pretty well with my second period class, not as well as my first period. So if I have the square root of 25, right, and the square root of 25, ignore all this. So what number times itself is 25? So probably the first number you're going to think of is positive 5. Well, it also could be negative 5, because negative 5 squared is also 25. Yes? So if I have the square root of 9, most of you will probably say it's 3, but it could also be negative 3. Because negative 3 squared is also positive 9. Okay, so if you're taking an even root, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, etc., it's going to be positive or negative. If I had the 4th root of, let's do 16, of 16, so what number times itself 4 times is 16? It's 2, 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8, times 2 is 16. Or negative 2, right? Negative 2 times, oops, positive 4, negative 8, positive 16. The negatives all cancel each other out. Okay, it will not work for odd. Do not, for 3, 5, 7, all the odd roots, there's only the one answer. Okay. All right. Okay, the last part of your homework is 23 through 26. So you're finding the x and y intercepts, also something we messed around with last chapter. Okay. I don't know. I don't know. Let's just do 23. Why not? 23 x plus 5, x minus 4. Is it f of x maybe equals x plus 5 and x minus 4. Okay. So you have to find the x and the y intercepts. To find the x-intercepts, you set this equal to 0 and you solve. Or if you remember from last chapter, this is factored form of a quadratic. Okay, so factored form, you can pull them out of your parentheses. So I can tell this it's the opposite of what you see inside. So it's going to be negative 5, 0, and it's going to be, actually I'll write this lower. Right over here. It's going to be negative 5 and 0. And it'll be positive 4, 0. Okay, I'll prove it to you. So if you set this equal to 0, 0 equals x plus 5, x minus 4. If you want, you can FOIL these and multiply them all out. But I want you to just think about this. If you have, if this is equal to 0, then I would have 0 times x minus 4, right? And 0 times anything is just 0. Same idea, if this is still x plus 5, but this one is 0, it's all going to be 0. 0 times anything is 0. So what you can do is you can FOIL it and solve it, or you can take these and set them equal to 0. X plus 5 equals 0. X minus 4 equals 0. Okay, if I substitute either of these numbers into this equation, it will be 0. Negative 5 plus 5 is 0. 0 times anything is just 0. 4 minus 4 is 0. Anything times 0 is just 0. All right, so those are your x-intercepts. Your y-intercept is when it crosses the y-axis, so x has to be 0. So we substitute 0 in for x. X plus, substitute 0 in for x. 0 plus 5. 0 minus 4. Okay? All I did was substitute 0 in for the x's. So that is equal to 0 plus 5, which is 5, times 0 minus 4, which is negative 4. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. So your y-intercept is x is 0, y is negative 20. Okay? Voila. Wait, should I do another one? No, you'll be fine.